Thank you for taking the time to join me for this ProPlan Expert Care Nutrition training session. In today's session, we'll take you through our maintenance range that is dedicated to veterinarians. My name is Laura Hughes and I'm the Veterinary Nurse Development Manager at Purina. So why would you recommend ProPlan? Well, with ProPlan, you can expect high quality ingredients, and with that comes excellent nutrient quality, and as a result, great digestibility. Essentially, everything that goes in gets used, and every ingredient in the bag serves a purpose. Fresh frozen meats are always our first ingredient, and we use a range of both plant and animal-based proteins to give access to a range of amino acids that are required by the animal. We don't just add protein for protein's sake so that it looks good on the packet. Each ingredient is there for a specific reason. So ProPlan features a multi-grain formula including rice, and actually only 1% of dogs are sensitive to grains, and dogs are actually able to digest carbohydrates from grains with an amazing efficiency, over 90% in fact. All of our diets are fixed formula, which helps our cats and dogs' digestive system in the long term and is a fantastic way to ensure they're getting what they need. All of these factors mean there is less poop to scoop. People can often think of soft stools as being normally, especially if that's what they see every day from their pet. With ProPlan, we aim for kickable and not skiddable poos. Also with our ProPlan, we guarantee our palatability, and to support that we have a money back guarantee. And lastly, we aim to provide targeted nutrition, for example, size specific products or those aimed at pets with sensitive skin or sensitive digestion. So now I'm just going to play a video on our ProPlan Expert Care. There is no sound with this video, but the subtitles will tell the story. So with Expert Care, you are getting colostrum, but also all of the benefits that you'll get with any other ProPlan product. So what are some of those benefits? So as we know, 70% of the immune cells are located in the guts. And the benefits of colostrum have long been understood in newborns. And studies have now demonstrated that it can support animals at other life stages, such as older animals whose immune system may be weakened with age, and those adult animals that are experiencing your everyday pressures, as well as your puppies and kittens who are developing their immunity. So to summarise how the colostrum works, you've got the antibodies and the bioactive compounds from the colostrum are released into the intestines. That then stimulates the immune cells in the gut, which is the gut-associated lymphoid tissue. And as a result, you get greater levels of secretory IgA being produced. Secretory IgA is essentially the first line of defense against bacteria, parasites, and viruses. So, in short, colostrum allows us to provide a much greater immune response with it than without it. So firstly, I want to take you through the study that we did in our dogs. So we had two groups of 12 dogs, each between the age of 2 and 7 years old. Both groups were fed the same diet, but one group was supplemented with bovine colostrum, whilst the other one had the control-fed diet. Both groups were given their single canine distemper vaccination, which was part of their normal veterinary care, and then we took blood and fecal samples every 4 weeks. So when we look at the results of the study that we did for our canine friends, what we actually saw was that the dogs that were fed the diet containing the 0.1% bovine colostrum had a significantly higher response rate to the canine distemper vaccination. There was also a 50% increase in antibody levels after 6 months versus the control fed group. And when you look at the charts, and as you can see here, it wasn't just a short spike at that higher level, it was maintained over time. Those that were fed the diet with the added colostrum also showed enhanced gut-associated lymphoid tissue function, resulted in higher IgA levels. This is the antibody that's produced within the GI tract that we talked about earlier. And therefore, this offers a greater protection from gut pathogens. And it's worth noting again that when 70% of your pet's immune system is in the guts, protection from those gut pathogens is so important. So now let's look at the study that we did in our feline friends. So this time it was a similar study, but for kittens. Again, two groups of 12 kittens. Both groups were fed the same diet, but one of them was supplemented with the 0.1% bovine colostrum. This time they were 12 weeks old when they started the study. So we tested our theory with the adult animals with the dogs that were aged between 2 to 7. So now we want to test it in those younger animals where we know they're still developing their immune system. So this time we used the feline rabies virus vaccination and booster vaccine at week 38. Again, we took blood and fecal samples every 4 weeks throughout the process. So when we look at the results in our feline friends, we see a significantly quicker and stronger systematic response to the vaccination. We see an increase in the microflora stability following a stress test, and that was moving the cat to a different room. We're not just getting a better response to that vaccine, but we're also seeing a more robust defense against stress as well. And again, we also saw an increase in those IgA levels, providing that extra protection against the pathogens within the gut. Okay, so now let's take you into the ProPlan Expert Care range. So this is what the full range looks like alongside each other. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into our dog range and then our cat range to take you through all of the products that are available. Okay, so firstly we have our dog range. So we have our puppy, our adult and our adult 7+ product. So let's start with our puppy product. So for me, the puppy product has a few real key standout ingredients. The first being beet pulp. Beet pulp is a prebiotic that feeds the good bugs within the guts and helps to promote that positive gut environment. It also improves the microflora balance, and that's particularly important when we're talking about our puppies. So then we look at the immunity gap. So this is something that is well known within puppies. So it's the period between when they have mum's colostrum and the antibodies that are passed through there, and when they develop their own immune system and response off the back of having their vaccination courses. So we know that multiple factors impact the immune system. So it can be genetics, their life stage, nutrition, and external stressors. And we know that newborns absorb antibodies from their mother's milk, the colostrum. However, this is adopted maternal immunity declines over time, creating the potential gap that we see in this chart, whilst the puppy or kitten's own immune system is still developing. And this is what we call the immunity gap, and that's what we are looking to support with our colostrum. So now we go on to our adult diet. So the adult diet is designed for those puppies that have gone through their growth and development, and they are just needing to support maintaining the growth that they have already completed. Chicken is the first ingredient with a higher digestibility and bioavailability of nutrients, and it has carefully selected ingredients and nutrients to deliver great joint health, dental health, and digestive health. So we go on to the small and mini now. So the small and mini also has that carefully selected ingredients to deliver the great joint health as well as reducing tartar buildup by 36%. And that's through the addition of a calcium chelator. And this helps to bind to the tartar and stop it adhering to the teeth. Also, the small and mini is specifically adapted to help dogs with their faster metabolism, because a lot of owners like to think that those small and mini dogs are revolutionary different, but we do know they have a few differences. And the main ones are their faster metabolism and the fact that they are more prone to dental problems. So when we look at another one of Purina's studies, we saw that the cooking and extrusion processes that have been proven to produce better absorption of essential fatty acids and higher bioavailability of some amino acids versus a poultry meal. And that's really important when you look at the availability of the nutrients and the nutrient quality. So we then have our Dermacare product. So as the name suggests, the Dermacare is what we would look to support a healthy skin and high coat quality. And how does it do that? Well, it's doing that through high quality protein. More than 80% of the animal protein is coming from salmon. We've got our omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, which are really great for our skin and coat condition. And we've got our skin goodies, which are our vitamins A, B, as well as zinc. This product also contains selected protein sources, so may help to reduce skin discomfort that's associated with food sensitivities. This could be a product you could use to move on to after you have done an elimination trial with HA and then challenged with our DRM diet in order to be able to come back to a normal life stage product. So, a study that we've done has shown that dogs that were fed a sensitive skin blend had significantly improved skin and coat condition, increased shine and softness to their coat. So, the adult version of the puppy product is our digestion care. It is rich in lamb and it also contains that same prebiotic to help support the microflora balance by feeding the good bugs within the guts. It's a great product to move on to following the short term use of either EN or HA if you know those dogs that are more prone to the occasional upset, often due to a dietary indiscretion. For me, it's all about preventative care. And that's why when we have a dog that comes back regularly with those GI upsets, could you look at using something like this to support them to try and give them a more stable base? So when they have those indiscretions, there is less impact. So we also know that lamb is a really highly digestible ingredient and it promotes fecal quality, and that then minimizes the load on the gut. We've also got the beet pulp, which is a prebiotic promoting that healthy gut and the microflora balance, and can increase the levels of good bugs within the guts and has a positive impact on gut transit time and fecal score. So then we have our light or sterilized product. So this is a great all-round diet. The nice thing about it is it's got 3 different feeding guides on it. So it's got your weight loss feeding guide, which is for those that are anything between an ideal body condition score up to and including a body condition score of 7. Anything 7 to 9 should be on our obesity management diet rather than the light diets. Then our second feeding guideline is the weight maintenance. So these are for dogs that are prone to putting on weight, or they've lost the weight they need to, but you want to make sure they don't rebound and put that weight on. And then our third feeding guide is sterilized. So that's for those adult dogs we know that are prone to gain weight, but maybe they're a breed that is predisposed to putting on weight, especially after they've been neutered. So this diet is based on being low calorie and low in fat. It comes in at 9% fat, which is 40% less than the adult diet, and it also contains fiber and a blend of complex carbohydrates that help promote satiety, or that feeling of fullness. So essentially, we're helping to keep hunger locked up until lunch with that slow release of energy. It has been proven for gradually healthy loss and to reduce the risk of weight rebound due to the dog being able to stay on the same diet long term. We are looking to lose fat and not lean muscle mass due to the high quality protein, and in turn, that makes it more palatable. The big point of difference, and if you take one thing away from this presentation today, the big point of difference for our weight loss diets are that we feed to the animal's current weight. Now, this really helps from an owner compliance point of view because there's no kind of challenge of trying to guess what that ideal weight would be. You're feeding for the animal that's in front of you, and it means that you can adjust that feeding guide as they drop the weight down. You can then gradually reduce that. There are no target weights and no kind of long off in the distance expectation. Obviously, for puppies, we do know that they need a higher amount of fat for growth, so this is very much an adult only product. So how does the light work? So it promotes a healthy weight loss and maintains lean body mass due to a high protein, high fiber and reduced fat levels. In another study, we also saw that over 12 weeks, dogs lost 16% and had a 60% reduction in fat tissue. They had lower blood triglyceride levels and a 21% reduction in their heart rate, both during rest and exercise. So then we have our adult 7 plus. So historically, this would have been called a senior diet, but often owners don't like to think that their dog over the age of 7 is senior, and that's why we call it adult 7 plus. So this diet has been clinically proven to enhance brain function and help keep those older dogs active, lively, and alert. So sometimes if we think about those older dogs and we ask the owners how they're doing, they'll say things like fine, no problems, but then there'll be a but. And the but will be things like he's starting to sleep a lot more in the day, or he's waking up at night, or he's not as active as he used to be, or he's being really clingy. So those sort of changes to interaction and behavior. And that can be the signs of cognitive decline. So there is an online assessment that you can complete to determine the levels of cognitive decline that you see in your canine patients. But then that will in turn give you a recommendation from a product point of view that may be helpful. Because sometimes for our older dogs, as they get older, they lose the ability to use glucose as a source of energy for the brain. So our adult 7 plus diet uses MCTs, which is medium chain triglycerides, as an alternative fuel source for the brain. So for those dogs where utilizing glucose as a source of energy is the challenge, changing onto this diet, you may see a difference. And the phenomenal thing with this is that as dogs get older, we actually see that change once they've gone onto this diet within 30 days of going onto the diet. The other factor that's really important as dogs get older is we know that their metabolism decreases. So actually their metabolism decreases by about 25%. And if we don't adjust their feed to take that into consideration, that's where we are going to start seeing problems with our animals becoming overweight, and that then leads into other issues. It's also thought that the loss of lean body mass is a prime factor in reducing the need for energy requirements. So within this diet, we've got increased protein levels and reduced fat. So as I mentioned already, the 7 Plus has got this blend of nutrients, including these medium chain triglycerides that come from coconut oil as an alternative fuel source for the brain. So, dogs over the age of 7 have a significant but often subclinical changes in their brain function. And research has shown that typically from 7 years of age, canine neurons gradually lose the ability to use glucose as that effective energy source. Those medium chain triglycerides are converted by the liver and they use ketone metabolites that are then used by the brain neurons as an alternative energy source for cellular function. And this is where the ProPlan Expert Care Nutrition Adult 7 Plus supports this aging process by the inclusion of those medium chain triglycerides as well as antioxidants, specifically vitamin E and vitamin C, to support that elderly immune system. It also supports total oral care, thanks to the natural brushing effect of the small crunchy kibble on the teeth. And it's got the inclusion of vitamin D, calcium and phosphorus as well. It also contains EPA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid, and glucosamine to help support joint health and the mobility in our older dogs. Okay, so now we will go on to our feline range. So as you can see here, this is a concise range because we know that our feline friends often don't adapt well to changing diets. So when we look at our kitten products, we've got lots of great stuff within this product to support those kittens and their growth and development. So we've got our fatty acids to support DHA for brain development and to help support healthy vision. This diet is high protein and specifically selected balanced minerals to support the growth of muscles and bones. And it's also suitable for neutered kittens. So we do know that the ideal would be that once a kitten is neutered at the age of 6 months of age, they go over onto our sterilised diet. But we know for some owners they are used to feeding a kitten food for the first year, so trying to get them to do that transition could be quite tricky. And so it's for these patients that you can continue to feed this. We would just recommend that you continue to monitor their weight and body condition. So we've already talked a little bit about the kitten study and the kind of results that we saw in relation to supporting the immune response with the addition of the bovine colostrum. So I'm not going to go through the details of those again. So we then go on to our adult cat diet, which is our sterilised product. So with the adult cat, we are looking to maintain that lean muscle mass following neutering. We know that the kidneys are a major weak spot for cats. So statistically, 30 to 50% of cats over the age of 15 will have chronic kidney disease. So what we want to do with this diet is look at how can we support those organs throughout life, not just when there are problems that start to develop, which is what veterinary diets do. So with that in mind, we've got a blend of nutrients that keep the kidney in good working order. So we keep the blood flowing through the kidneys with arginine, which helps to open up the blood vessels. We use EPA, omega-3 fatty acids, as a natural anti-inflammatory, and we have specific antioxidants to support kidney health. We also have key ingredients in there to target dental health. So just like I talked about for our small and mini canine friends, we have that same calcium chelator in there. So that's going to help to bind the calcium and stop it adhering to the teeth and starting that process of tartar build-up. So the sterilised is the only product in the range that currently comes in 2 flavours. So we've got both turkey and both salmon, often because the owners feel the cats have a preference to either a meat or a fish-based product. And this product is 41% protein, which is a high protein level and it's the highest amongst our competitor set. We also know that cats cope best with a high protein, low carbohydrate diet, and that's what you're achieving with this diet. So the blend of nutrients that are in the adult sterilised have been shown that cats will have a reduction in the level of isoprostanes, and they are a marker of oxidative stress when we compared that to a control group, and these results were seen after just 6 weeks. So we know that for a lot of cats, dual feeding is very heavily part of their feeding routine, and that's why we have a wet range as well. So it's not specifically expert care, but it is ProPlan Wet Cat. It's a fixed formula product as well. And this is because we know that many owners like to dual feed, and certainly the ISFM recommends that that is the ideal way to approach feeding cats. Also, giving cats that mixture of textures can be really well received because that's really important from a palatability point of view. But also, if cats are used to this different texture from an early age, it will stop them developing a really strong preference to one texture only. So, should for any reason at a later stage in their life they need to change to a different diet, it would make that process slightly easier. We also know that wet foods may be slightly easier for some cats to eat, especially if they've got dental disease present. And it can also help with weight. So there are 4 to 5 times less calories per tablespoon of dry than there is of wet than there is of dry. It also helps support hydration status. So that's particularly important in your older cats or those cats where you know that they're at more risk of dehydration, and to support those cats where you're concerned about urinary tract health. So we've got our kitten, our sterilised chicken, our delicate digestion, which are a shredded texture in gravy. And then we've got our sterilised adult turkey and sterilised 7 Plus that are a terrine texture. So as I've just mentioned, the products come in either a shredded in gravy or a terrine consistency and are all fixed formula. The 7 Plus product also contains a Longevis blend, which has been proven to extend a cat's life by up to a year and also support other markers of good health. So, just some other benefits to touch on. So, we do offer a 100% money back guarantee that means that if a client or a pet is not happy with their Purina product, they can get their money back. There is absolutely no risk, and this is valid on both the Expert Care and our ProPlan veterinary diet ranges, including Fortiflora and Hydrocare. And last but not by no means least, we do also offer an amazing loyalty program for both you and your clients. And that is staff can buy 3 bags and get the fourth one free, and clients can buy 6 bags and get the seventh bag free. And again, that is available across all of the Expert Care range products and the ProPlan veterinary diets, including our Fortiflora and Hydrocare. If you have any further questions, please reach out to myself or your veterinary nutrition partner who will be able to help you with this further. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. I hope you've enjoyed today's session. And if you need any further assistance, please reach out to us. Our email address is vettechline@purina.nestle.com. Thank you so much.